Well, hello, fellow architecture lovers. If you, of course, watch us regularly, you notice we did not do a video last week. That's because we instead decided to do a live walkthrough of one of our listings. I do have an update for you. For those of you who've been following along, we accepted an offer yesterday, significantly above list price. I think what amazed me is not that we got 26 offers on that property, but that we got offers from over 10 people who are architecture lovers like you, who wanted a chance to be the next stewards of that house. I think for somebody who started off loving mid-century modern architecture when nobody else really did and it wasn't the end thing, I think it's very cool just to see how popular it has become and to see just kind of this movement for sort of saving a lot of these older neighborhoods that people had forgotten about. Also, one other little thing, we're going to put a link down below. We do these videos as actually part of an email that we send out. We actually include some other cool houses and things in them. We don't do videos on them. But if you're interested in architecture, I would say it is definitely a good idea to sign up for that. So if you're watching on YouTube, we are going to have a link in the description where you can sign up for that email. And I highly encourage you to do that. So let's talk about this week for a second. Sometimes in life, there are those houses that just sort of take your breath away. And I don't even know how to describe it, right? You walk in the door and the hairs on the back of your neck stand up straight. And, those houses are rare. They're not everywhere. And they are usually not terribly affordable. So I know we've done a number of more expensive houses for the last few weeks on this. I do think next week we're going to do kind of a more affordable house when we kind of do our window shopping video walkthrough. But let's kind of get on with it. I want to show you this house. It's located kind of in the back side of the Hollywood Hills, which means it faces out towards the valley. It's kind of on those hills that you see when you're driving down the 101, passing by Universal Studios. There on the left, there were a lot of these really cool hillside mid-century modern homes built in the 1950s. And, some of them had some really cool elements. This is one of those houses. I love it. I think you're going to love it too. So let's take a look here. Like what about it makes a house like this special? From the front, it might not appear super unusual, but I want to take you inside. So just to kind of go over the specs, 3445 Multiview Drive in Los Angeles, 3 beds, 2 baths, just under 1,600 square feet and built in 1952. This home is not our listing, but we would love to represent you as a buyer. And if you're a buyer, you definitely want your own representation. This home is listed by Ali Afshar with Compass. So I'm going to go ahead and kind of take you through some of these photos. So you've got some decks on the front side of this house. This is actually not that unusual of a configuration for one of these homes where it's built into a hillside. They wanted to take advantage of the view. Something you're going to be able to see a little bit later that's really cool in this house is these beams under here. I don't know if you can really see it too well, but this home actually was built using steel beams for the flooring system, which is really unusual for 1952 in California. You start off with, honestly, a super cool, awesome looking carport. No complaints here on this house. If you're looking kind of at this hillside configuration again, this is the top level of the house, and then the back side, because the hill goes away from the house, you actually have 2 levels, kind of a walkout lower level. And here we are. We're on this main living area, and it's at different levels. It already has a couple step ups, which is cool. Very clean design. We're going to see a big version of this staircase shortly because it's a showstopper, really. A staircase can be just an awesome focal point of mid-century modern house. You've got a lot of trees that have grown in, so you do have a view here looking northward. But one of the things that I think is cool is that you also have a little bit of privacy. And what's great about trees is that you can choose to prune or not prune trees according to the privacy level that is important to you. Super cool fireplace in this living room, wall of windows and glass. These are sliders that open up here. You've got a neat hearth arrangement that actually works pretty well for kind of modern living. One little detail here, and I don't know if you guys can see it, I hope you can, but there's actually a floating step here. So it's a two little steps up, and they created a floating step. This hearth also floats just a little bit. Um, this is another cool feature in this house, and I love what they've done. It has this built-in banquette type seating. The listing agent calls it 50s diner style seating. I really think that that's an unfair characterization. This actually feels a lot more like something you might find in, say, a Neutra house, where there's kind of that built-in seating. And then they've used a Noguchi table in the center here. Really kind of an awesome choice for that curved built-in seating. Great kitchen that's been updated with all the cool stuff, but it's been done in kind of a restrained manner. So it has Miele appliances, super high end. You got white cabinets on one side, wood grain on the other. They really kept this simple and elegant. Um, I think when you redo a house like this, there is this temptation to just go overboard. And, the owners of this property didn't do it. Even in the bathroom, where I think that maybe they did some things that might be dated a little bit, these are very simple, elegant choices, right? A simple light fixture coming through the mirror, marble vanity top, undermount sink. None of this stuff is trying too hard. It feels effortless. And here, this is probably my favorite part of this house, is this beautiful steel staircase that goes to the lower level that you see here. I mean, really, with these floating treads, this is just plain magnificent. I don't know how to put it any other way. Such a cool design element that was put into this house. And then down here in one of these lower bedrooms, right, we've got this deck that has actual real privacy with these trees. Look at these steel beams and girders you have anchored into concrete. What an awesome design, for a house. And I think what's neat about this is you see this every single day exposed. Even if you're working in the corner doing whatever, you just glance up and see kind of a cool element of the house. Here's another angle of these, right? In this kind of gigantic lower level, they've even built some bookshelves that go around these girder beams here that you can see. They've been painted kind of a cool dark gray color. I mean, really just amazing. So built-in unique storage into the hillside. We've got that deck that's out there. Another one of the bathrooms in here. Again, they kept it really simple. And this is that deck where these trees come up. And like I said, I think the property line extends a little bit back. So you kind of have this option to have as much privacy or as little as you want. We've got a hammock. Again, more steel beams, very unusual for this era of house to see this, but super cool. What a neat element to have. You do have a nice view looking northward throughout the valley. Again, this is located kind of across the 101 from Universal City in that area. You've got this lower kind of backyard level here that you're seeing. I think you could maybe develop this a little bit further and kind of make it a little bit more useful. And here we have a nice skyline view. One of the things I like about city lights is that at night, you still have a view. Ocean views are great, but generally speaking, there's not much of a view when the sun goes down. Just really a cool house. I think this is one that truly takes your breath away. And I don't want to tell anybody that $1.5 million is cheap or affordable. It's not by LA standards, and by given the location, and that this is actually a decent sized home at 1,600 square feet. I actually think this price isn't too bad. I think there's a lot of utility if you can afford it. So let's kind of just jump in a little bit here, kind of go through sort of what we change and how much it's going to cost you. We'll go back here. What would we do to this house? Well, number one, I think I'd have a little bit less clutter in decorating. I think I'd be a little sparser and just let the house shine a little bit more. And then secondly, I think I'd maximize that outdoor deck living and those outdoor spaces a little bit more. I think there's kind of a little bit of blood left in the stone there to kind of squeeze out on those. I think it's a little bit of a missed opportunity. Given that privacy with some of the trees, I feel like you could really make some cool outdoor spaces. Now, how much does this cost, right? I mean, at the end of the day, this is a $1.5 million house. Well, if you have 10% down, here is the long and the short of it. Your total payment's going to be $7,500 a month. I don't want to tell you that's cheap or affordable, in terms of what income is needed to qualify for this. Really, you're looking at a household income north of $200,000 to make this work at that 10% down level. The good news is $7,500 is a lot, but of that payment, $2,200 is going towards principal. And that's really paying yourself back and building equity in the property. At 20% down, things are a little bit cheaper. That's $300,000 just for those keeping track. We get that payment really well down into the $6,000, $6,684, almost $6,700. And again, over $2,000 that payment is principal. When you factor that in, I don't think you could rent this house for $4,600 a month. So versus renting, to be honest, I still think you are ahead financially. Anyhow, thank you guys for watching Window Shopping, the fun show where you just listen to me talk about houses and why I actually think they're cool. Again, next week, I promise we're going to do something a little bit more affordable, shift gears a little bit, where we can talk a little bit more about what needs to be done to sort of maximize the potential. Thanks for watching. And again, if you're watching on YouTube, don't forget to like, subscribe, hit that notification bell. And also, we've got a link down below if you want to be on our architectural mailing list where you're going to see this and other cool houses every single week. And of course, if you like this house too, or if you want to see it, if you're looking for representation for cool architectural homes, that would be us. Definitely look down below in the description as well. We will see you again real soon. Happy Thursday, everybody.